Alright, we are back on the live. Alright, so like you for the delay, y'all. I had to try, we're doing something new in today's show. We are going live on both TikTok, alright, it's my TikTok audience, and Facebook. Alright, so we live on both TikTok and Facebook. Alright, so I'm gonna let some of y'all come in. Alright, if anybody, as always, as we do this show weekly, if anybody wants to request to join the live, by all means, just hit request and we'll get into it. Let me make sure I got my settings right, because sometimes TikTok individuals be bugging out. So let me see here. Let me do this. Fix panel. Allow guest requests. Anyone can request. Alright, cool. Alright, so we're live on TikTok, live on Facebook. TikTok, as y'all come in, say shalom to the Facebook audience. Facebook, as y'all come in, say hello to the TikTok audience. And we about to see who's more live. Alright, who's more, who's more engaging, TikTok or Facebook. Alright, we're about to get into it. Damn, I just dropped TikTok, yo. Like TikTok just dropped. My apologies. My apologies. Salaki, I know some of y'all just got a little bruised. My fault. Alright, y'all be alright though. Y'all be alright. Alright. So, the title of today's show is Let YT People. Let those people. Let this colored people have Carnival back. Right now, Carnival has been going on recently. I've seen a couple videos here and there about Carnival in this city, Carnival in that city. One that recently kind of went viral was Leicester Carnival. Leicester Carnival kind of went viral because it's a quote unquote Caribbean carnival, but the carnival was full of palm colored people. It was full of YT people. Right? And people are upset that, they're taking over, or this is supposed to represent Caribbean culture, but it's barely any Caribbean people there. Oh, I'm trying to pull this down a little bit more. Can I do that? I should be able to. So let me just adjust my camera angle. It's too high at the moment. All right. Yeah, so people were upset that Carnival was, or Leicester Carnival specifically, was full of YT people and you could barely see a black face. Now my comment to that, and I want to see if TikTok, I want to see if Facebook agree with me or disagree with me. By all means, I want you to come on and we'll have this conversation. I say we should let white people have Carnival back. Let them have it back. And what do I mean when I say that? What do I mean? Carnival, although today it's a like in the UK especially, it's a Caribbean celebration of, let's say it's about what do they say people what people say Carnival is about liberation, about independence, about just enjoying Caribbean culture and Caribbean music and so on and so forth. But that's not actually the full picture. That's not actually the full picture. That's only kind of recently Carnival has we've taken on, as those from the Caribbean, we've taken on our own version of Carnival, and we fought to be able to do Carnival in, I think, what was the first, I think the first ever Carnival was in Leicester. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know the in and outs of Carnival because I don't really care for it. But I believe the first Carnival ever, we were protesting and doing all that to do Carnival in Leicester. And now you have big carnivals all over the country. You got Notting Hill, of course. You got Birmingham, Leeds, Manchester. Manchester Carnival is apparently going on right now. I was having a walk with my mother. I was having a walk with my mom in the park, and she had mentioned that, you know, we was walking by like a pond in the park, and we saw a police officer, and my mom was wondering, like, we was wondering, like, what's the police officer doing in the park? Like, what's he doing? And my mom said, oh, you know, sometimes they do that before Carnival because people be hiding weapons in the bushes. People be burying weapons underground so that they can go when everyone's here. And this is at Alexandra Park in Manchester. When everyone's at Alexandra Park, the people who, you know, if you see an up or whatever, or you want to stir up trouble, or you just want to be a damn tyrant, you go and get your buried weapon and wreak all manner of havoc. All right. So, MF is burying weapons or hiding weapons in the bushes and in the park. That's one thing. And then she had mentioned that, yeah, Carnival is Saturday and Sunday. Today, yesterday and today. I said, I don't want to be anywhere near this park on Saturday or Sunday. I was, you know, yesterday we was on a mission. You know what I'm saying? The I.S.U.P.K was, can I use the word slaughtering? We was, you know, what's the word? Ethically slaughtering, just for all my vegans out there and all the, you know, animal rights activists. We was ethically slaughtering some Nubians. All right, ethically, it was ethical. All right, it was ethically chopping to pieces these Nubians, and of course, I'm speaking metaphorically. We was just, you know, debating them, battling them, and then cutting them on every corner, right? So that's what we was doing yesterday, and today I'm doing the show. I don't want anything to do with Carnival, but I understand that this many of my people is going to be out there in Alexandra Park celebrating this Carnival, potentially getting, you know, chefed up. And there's been a couple of violent attacks locally in Manchester. A couple of violent attacks, knife attacks. So I wouldn't be surprised if I turn on the news tonight or I see social media posts about people having holes put in them at Manchester Carnival. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. And this is why I say, let white people, let them have Carnival back. Let them have it back. It's not our culture. And we're going to go into the history of it. But by all means, if anybody disagrees with what I say when I say, let them have it back, or if you're concerned about, you know, like I see in these videos about, you know, this is supposed to be Caribbean-ness and white people are taking it over, and by all means, come on, we can have that conversation. I want all, you know, if anybody wants to say anything on the live, by all means, request to join. I'm trying to figure out how to do that on, yeah, guest request is on Facebook. So if anyone's watching on Facebook, you can request to join there and we'll have a whole conversation. All right, we'll rock it out. All right, shalom to everybody that's in the stream. I see Kayala, of course. I see somebody named Mikey said hello, sir. Hello. All right, shalom. All right, and you know, as you come in, make sure you like, comment, and follow the page. All right, so this is one of the videos that I've seen recently about complaining that Carnival has been colonized. It's been colonized, and the people who we're supposed to be celebrating, and that's what they say Carnival is. It's a celebration of independence and freedom from our oppressor. Those same people have taken it over. All right, those same people are, you know, partaking in it, enjoying it, having fun. Right, so I'm about to play this video now. I've got two angles. So I'm going to play it for one audience first, then another, and then we'll do it like that. So I'm going to play it for TikTok first. All right, let me turn my audio up a little bit. So let me show my Facebook audience. Now, the text, let me read through this because it kind of goes through quite quick, right? So I'm going to read what the text says. It says, Carnival is a celebration of our emancipation from slavery and independence from the colonizers. All right. Then it goes on to say, how can the descendants of those who captured, enslaved, and held us in bondage under the most brutal conditions, and it says, right, so how can they that held us under, captured, enslaved, and held us in the most brutal conditions be anything more than a spectator as we celebrate our struggle for freedom, culture, and heritage? Right? So, again, people is upset that Carnival, as far as Caribbeans are concerned, is supposed to be a celebration of our emancipation from slavery. Right? It's supposed to be celebrating our independence and our freedom and liberation from slavery. I'm gonna just let you know right now, the so-called YT man never freed the slaves. That's something that they love to say. We went around and we ended slavery. We, in this day and age, as black people, are still enslaved. And what do I say? What do I mean when I say that? All right. Is everybody, walking around here with shackles and chains on their hands and wrists and feet? No. But we have a bondage. We are under a bondage that is even more cunning. It's even more devious than being in physical shackles and chains. All right. It's even more, even more evil. The bondage, the slavery that we are under is a mental bondage. We as black people, as those from the Caribbean, right? That's who the focus is today. Those are the Caribbean, those, brothers in South America, the so-called Hispanics, the Native Americans, the so-called African Americans, the tribe of Judah up in America. We've been given a mental slavery where we have been bowing down. We've been given Christianity and bowing down to a white Jesus. And, they also tell you that Jesus is God. So we've been bowing down to a white God and a white Jesus. And we are looking up to a white man as our savior. We are looking up to the same man that enslaved us. The same man that, you see people, I'll use the phrasing because we're on social media. You see black people swinging from trees in this day and age. And I ain't talking about like how them Africans do. I ain't talking about no Tarzan. You see black people to this day, swinging from trees by the same man that we look up to be our savior. And we've taken on their culture. We've taken on their holidays, their festivals, their feasts. We've taken on their culture and not returned back to our own. We don't have an identity. We don't have a culture to return back to. So what do? I mean, we do have one, but majority of our people aren't aware of our culture. They're not aware of who we were, what we were doing prior to being enslaved. Aren't aware of our history. So what do? We just, When in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Britain, do as the British do. When in America, do as the Americans do. And we take up their traditions. We take up their white Jesus. We take up their Christmas. We take up their birthdays and all these things that are the culture of our oppressor. Another thing we do, we take up Carnival. Now, y'all saw in that video that it was saying that Carnival is a celebration of our emancipation. Right? So let me just go into a bit about the history of the Caribbean Carnival. All right, let's read this up. Okay. So, the Caribbean Carnival originated in the late 18th century in Trinidad and Tobago when French planters held elite pre-Lenten masquerade balls. So, this is really the French people started doing carnival masquerade balls where this is where the masks and the all the costumes come from. It comes from, like, you had the French in Trinidad and Tobago, you had the Spanish, and you would have had the British all over the Caribbean. This is their culture. They did masquerade balls, and this is pre-Lent. So Carnival has history even prior to Christianity, and they've taken it on as the celebration is either before, I think it's before Lent. So it's like before, no, I think it's after. It's one of the two. It's either before you do Lent, which is where you're supposed to deprive yourself of certain things that you enjoy. Right? You're supposed to give up something. It's either, I think it's after. I think it's after Lent. So after you've been giving up whatever it is that you wanted to give up for Lent, you would have Carnival, which is now where you let loose. And all those things that you abstained from, you just indulge in all of it excessively. That's what Carnival is about. So that's the pre-Lenten. This is when it's been taken over by Christianity, which is, again, a whitey man's religion. Christianity, and bowing down to that white Jesus and white God, is a white man's religion. It's their customs. If you go into all the holidays that Christians keep, they're all pagan. They're all pagan from either Greek or Rome. All of them. Or even you have Christians celebrating Halloween, which comes from early, like, Celtic. I think that's what, Irish? Who are the Celts? Are they the Irish or the Scottish? It's one of the two. They called it Samhain, or it's pronounced different in the original tongue, like shaman or something like that. Or I think the M might even be it might be pronounced differently. But Samhain is how I'd F it. That's how I pronounce it. And they believed in all these spirits. It's pagan. And all it is just pagan. Everything that Christians do, everything that Christians keep and believe in, is all pagan. It's nothing to do with God. It's nothing to do with Christ. It's all just their pagan traditions, which they're trying to... It's funny, this carnival is about masquerade. They're trying to masquerade their pagan traditions as serving God. They're trying to masquerade their pagan customs as serving Christ. That's all Christianity is. Alright, so let me read on. It says enslaved Africans. Now, we know, of course, we're not African, but that's what they're going to call us. So let me just say slaves. Slaves excluded from these events, it adapted the traditions after emancipation in 1834. Okay. So we in like the origin is in Trinidad, right? So we were excluded from these festivals. We were excluded from keeping their carnival. We were excluded from their masquerade balls. Excluded from it. Of course, being slaves and being discriminated against, they didn't want us in their thing. Which is funny, because even that in this day and age, because we're such a compassionate people, when they want to come and celebrate what we would call our thing, we always let the door open. We let them in. And now you get people that are upset that it's being taken over. It's been taken over because you let them in. But we should have really never had it in the first place. So we're going to read on. So we were excluded from these events, and then after we were emancipated, after we were freed, after we were freed from slavery, the physical shackles and chains, we adapted these traditions in 1834 into an explosive expression of freedom, resistance, and West African culture. That's the origin of Carnival. It's really the white man's festival. That's all it is. It's a white man's festival. Comes from, we're going to get into the history prior to when it was adapted by Christianity. It's just a white man's festival where they've been holding out on what it is they wanted to do, and then they just let loose on Carnival and just eat all manner of food excessively and drink excessively and have, sex excessively and just all types of deviancy. Whatever they've been restraining themselves from, they just go ahead and let loose at Carnival. That's what Carnival is. And we've now adapted this because we were held from it for so long, being enslaved. When we became quote unquote free, we now adapted it. We took it on and we made it well, you can't you won't let us in your carnival. We'll create a Caribbean carnival because we see you having, it just looks like so much fun. And that's what the oppressor loves to do. All that sin and filth and just, all that deviancy. They just make it look fun. And so we feel as though we're missing out. So all my brothers and sisters, we were not missing out anything. Not missing out a damn thing. We don't need Carnival. As a matter of fact, I would put this to anybody who's watching. I would ask this question. What does Carnival do to benefit the black community? Like, in what way does Carnival benefit us? That's the question that I want to pose to the audience. How does Carnival benefit our people? I'll wait for the answer to that question if anybody can provide any answer. How does it benefit us? Because all I see at Carnival is our women dressing like they this they day off from swinging on the pole, and they decided to just go out in the street. Instead of being in a strip club, they're just out in the streets with these, skimpy and extravagant and look at me outfits. Just putting everything on display and have these complex designs and costumes to draw attention to themselves. All I see is, I don't know if I can say the N-word, thirsty niggas just trying to get a piece of something on Carnival, trying to cut your wine, trying to take a girl home and whatever. All I see is a bunch of brothers getting bun on Carnival. A bunch of brothers getting bun on Carnival because you have a woman, but on this day, on any other day, you wouldn't, want her dressing like a 304 and being in the middle of the street. But on this day, because it's Carnival and it's a celebration and Caribbean culture, you have to let her go out and shake her backside to music in a 304's costume in the middle of the street. You have to let her do it because it's Carnival. Have to. All right, hold on. Somebody said, come with me then, please, I beg you. I will prove you wrong. What do you mean when you say, come with you? You want me to go to Carnival to prove me wrong? So are you saying that if I went to Carnival right now, I'm not going to see women dressing with damn near everything showing? Or whole heap of skin and the cleavage and the legs, all up the legs, in these outfits, dancing and, gyrating and shaking their behind to music. You telling me I'm not going to see that? As a matter of fact, Skelly, if you want to just request to join the live, matter of fact, let me send an invite to you, and I want you to explain what it is that you mean. All right, hold on. We also have a few people. We invite Skelly. I see we had 2 people requested to join the live. Let me see. I accepted your invite, so if you are still on, it should let you on the stream. All right, let me see. And let me do this on the. All right, if you wanna explain to me what it is that you mean when you say you're gonna prove me wrong. All right, we got Skelly coming on. All right, what's going on, Skelly? What's your name and where are you tuning in from?
I don't know if you can hear me, man. Can you hear me perfectly?
I can hear you.
Alright, just on the topic, my name is Devonte. I'm from Northwest London.
Okay.
Um, the reason into why I said what I said, it's
Mm-hmm.
not about it's not about your opinion on the attire
Mm-hmm.
of Carnival. That's not what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for the thing that you said about men wanting nothing but the sexual vibe of Carnival, the
Mm-hmm.
sexual nature of Carnival. I don't agree with that, and
Okay.
I implore you to join me so I could prove you wrong. Instead of giving you an argument of talking, I believe actions show better than words.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could join me whenever, whatever year that you would feel would be suitable, join me at Notting Hill Carnival. I would pay for your band, and you would join me in the band, and I will show you the soul of Carnival
Okay.
instead
Well.
of
Mm-hmm.
the rhetoric that you've been shown via the media or
Okay.
the outsiders of Carnival.
Okay. Well, here's one thing. Unless it's some form of mission and we're doing interviews or for some reason we've been sent to a carnival, you know what I'm saying, by the men above me in the ISUPK. You will not see me there. You will not see me at any carnival I don't care to go. Now, when I make these phrases or these examples or descriptions of what's at carnival, of course, I understand that not every single woman that goes to a carnival is in these outfits. Not every single brother that goes to a carnival is just looking to catch a wine and, sleep with somebody. I understand that. We're speaking in generalizations. But it is a lot of what you see. But you disagree with that. So explain to me, what is you said the soul of Carnival. What's the soul of Carnival?
Well, I would say that the soul of Carnival is
Mm-hmm.
mass. Now, to explain what mass is, I
Mm-hmm.
would have to go further back, and
Go
at,
ahead.
at this point in time, I don't feel like that's necessary because what happens in the past kind of in today's times doesn't really affect us that much. We all have our own identity, our own thoughts and processes. So I don't think the things of the past kind of determine the things of today.
Well,
As
I mean,
in this regard.
go ahead.
So just hold on one second. My son's talking to me. Just give me 1 second, please.
No problem. All right. So while Skelly is going and doing what he's going to do,
Just 1 second. Yeah, just give me 1 second,
no
Beth.
problem.
Let
Do you
me
think you can
just
just put
have a
yourself
little
on mute, come
speak
back whenever
and
you're ready?
thank you.
Oh, you just
Yeah.
wanted to
So
feel it.
um,
Go ahead.
back to what I was saying. Now when it comes around to what the soul of Carnival is, the soul of Carnival is mass, which
Mm-hmm.
is basic love and enjoyment of soca music.
Okay.
That's what
Love and
Carnival
enjoyment
is.
of soca music. Okay.
Yes,
So that's what you say Carnival is. Carnival is just enjoyment
yes,
of soca music. Okay. Which
yes,
is like almost Trinidad's, like I'm Jamaican, right? So I almost put it in a Jamaican lens. It's like Trinidad's version of like dancehall, that type of thing, right?
yeah.
Okay. Now, what is soca music about? So you say it's a celebration of soca music,
Soca music
or
is
the love of
more
soca music.
about living life and love
Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
enjoyment.
And when you say living life and love, that kind of sounds similar to me. Whatever it is I want to do, I'm living my life. I'm free. There's no restrictions. I can do whatever I want. I can, you know, love whoever I want. That's what it sounds like to me.
How
If
do
it's
you get
anything
no
other than that,
restrictions? Where do you get the
no
no restrictions
restrictions.
part from?
You said,
Live
you
life
said,
and love.
remind me again. You said living life
Yeah.
and
Live life
love.
and love. Yes.
What do you
So
mean
whether
when you
that
say
get
living life?
you live life to your understanding of what it is to be positive.
Okay, okay. And what if it's a and I'm just looking this up, right? What is soca music about? And of course, Google's gonna have a different answer. But let me just read through some of these examples. Okay. So it moves away from traditional calypso's heavy political commentary to focus. So you had calypso, which had like political commentary. That's almost like reggae music,
Yes.
if I'm using a Jamaican term. Now this focuses on just it says high energy dancing, unity, and the pure joy of the party, right? So it's party music.
Yes.
You're going out, you're having fun, you're releasing stress, things like that. So let's read on. It said most songs describe jumping, dancing, waving flags, moving to the rhythm on the road during carnival parades. Lyrics are designed to make you feel happy, release stress, enjoy life rather than worry about daily struggles. Um, it says here common topics include drinking, music, trucks, losing control on the dance floor, and staying up all night. So it's party music, almost like dancehall music.
Yes.
Now, and I'm Jamaican, so I listen to dancehall music, and
Hmm.
I hear a lot of dancehall music is about going to some party, going to some club,
Hmm.
finding a gal,
Hmm.
catching a wine, or I don't listen. I listen to a bit of soca music. I have some soca music on my playlist. It ain't I rock with it, trying to make some good music, but there's a lot that I don't put in my playlist because it's just over sexualized. It's about just catching a wine, and any gal, and the similar thing that you see from dancehall, taking man's gal, and you should be with me instead of him, like the things that you would see at a party. It's sexualized. I see someone in the comments saying women go there for man, people go there for woman. Carnival is over sexualized. So you go into carnival, you're celebrating soca music, which is party music. You have these
Hmm.
women dressed in these costumes and these outfits revealing their body, and you're going there to have fun, party, release stress. Is that not damn near what I was saying about whatever? What did I say? It's some like restrictions. Whatever restrictions you have, you let all that go. You work during the week, you go out, listen to some soca music, and party.
Hmm.
So how does that differ? Like, am I incorrect in my analysis? Am I incorrect in my description?
No, you're not incorrect in your description, but then how does that where does that go to with your original point of sexualizing it? Sexualizing carnival. And carnival is a celebration of soca music.
Soca music is sexual. It has some sexualized undertones, does it not? I
Where?
mean, like if you listen to, you say where,
Yeah.
it's about catching a wine and
With what part?
this girl bending over.
You're mixing it with dancehall. You
I'm
got
not mixing it with dancehall.
your
I've heard some soca music, which is very much similar to dancehall. It's
Hmm.
very much, this girl, that girl, and men and women belong together. Sex is sex is marriage. Sex is a beautiful thing, but it's not just to be, women shouldn't just be going to clubs and shaking their backside and whining on this man, whining on that man, going home with this man, this, that, and the
That
third.
doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in the soca scene as much as you think it does.
It doesn't, okay. It doesn't happen in soca music. Okay,
Hmm.
let me look up how much, and this is something that almost Trinidad is specifically known for. Are you aware that Trinidad is known for, like Trinidadian women, are known for giving a man what we'd call bun, sleeping around on their man? Are you aware of that? Matter of fact, before we go into that question, if I could
I'm
ask
from
about your
St. Kitts.
background,
I'm
what's
from
your
St.
background?
Kitts. I'm
St.
from St.
Kitts.
Kitts.
Okay.
Yes, originally
Okay.
moved to England
Uh-huh.
at a young age, so I understand quite a lot about the Caribbean lifestyle, I would say.
Uh-huh.
So saying that that's a rhetoric that comes from other islands that like to talk bad on other islands, usually
Uh-huh.
Jamaicans.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really listen to things like that because
Okay, I understand.
that's called there's a word for that, no? There's a word for that. When you talk about something that you don't you haven't experienced yourself.
Uh-huh.
There's a word for that, right? Um,
Enlighten me.
what's the word for that? When you speak about something that you don't know yourself, what's that word?
What are you saying? Ignorance? That could
Yeah,
be a word. Mm-hmm.
ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
That's an ignorance to that because the large demographic believes this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. It's the same concept with racism.
Mm-hmm.
A large people believe black people are lazy. Don't speak
Mm-hmm.
to us at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you're gonna believe it. Makes no sense. This is exactly what
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what that is about. Saying that Trinidadian women are known for giving bun, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I just said that's something that
That
is
doesn't make no
almost a
sense.
stereotype. Now, I'm just using that as an example because we were talking about carnival and soca music. You're saying carnival isn't about nothing sexual, it's about the enjoyment of soca music,
Yeah.
right? Now, if I look up what goes on in carnival, it
Hmm.
says, while exact statistics do not exist, a high volume of heavy flirting, kissing, and casual hookups occur during street and cultural carnivals. A portion of this behavior involves people who are cheating on their partners, large crowds, with the large crowds, alcohol, anonymity with the whole masks and that sort of thing, and festive atmospheres lowers inhibitions. So it lowers something that you might not do in a regular day. You do it on this day because it's carnival, because everyone's drinking, having fun, and celebrating the soca music, which I don't have a problem with soca music. I don't really have a problem with dancehall, but there's a difference between like enjoying music and there's a difference between acting out the music that you listen to. Like just if you listen to gangster rap or rap music, there's a difference between enjoying the music and then a difference between actually being a criminal.
Acting upon it.
You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
But are you saying that if you go to carnival, I'm not gonna see women whining and dancing on this man and that man and twerking and in these sexualized masquerade costumes? Are you saying I'm not gonna see that because it's about the
You
celebration
are,
of
but it's
soca
if
music?
you decide to sexualize it. That's if you decide to sexualize a costume.
If
Because
I
are you
decide
going to
to
do that? Hold on a second, please.
if I
Are
decide to
you going to
sexualize a costume,
do that? Are you going to do that seeing a child in a costume? in a childish costume. And I'm not
No.
talking about the skimpy type of costumes. I'm talking about the regular costumes that are outflowing, resembling some form of um, jambalassi or something like that. Would you
I'm
hypersexualize that?
no,
No.
I'm not gonna sexualize it. I'm not even
That's
really
the
gonna
same
see
thing
it
that
because I
goes
don't
on at
go to carnival.
Carnival. So if you can segregate that form of mindset when coming to
Well,
Carnival,
here's what I'm gonna say. Those children should not be. For one, they shouldn't be at carnival
why not?
because although it's children, and you say, okay, these normal costumes may be slightly more modest than the regular costumes that grown women wear. These children are going there wearing similar costumes, seeing a grown-up version of themselves in a more skimpy costume. So what are they gonna grow up to want to, you know, I'm done with that childish little costume. I wanna get the, and young girls always like to feel like they're grown, right? You're aware of that. They want to now
They,
get these
do
more
you believe
revealing
that
costumes.
rhetoric? Do
Do
you
I
believe
believe
that
the
rhetoric?
rhetoric that young
That
teenage
grown
girls,
women like to do that? Do you believe that? Is that something
women
that
like
you
to do
believe?
what? What are you
Now,
asking me?
whenever people ask me whenever people say these things, I always
Mhm.
like to ask the question of, do you believe your mother is like that? No. The answer to that question is no. I don't believe my mother is one of those people that believed that she was grown for herself. You like to view your mother as a respectable person. Am I not wrong? Am I wrong?
Some people like you
So
gotta view
why?
you gotta view your mother as what she is. If your mother is a 304, then by all means love your mother, but your mother is still a 304. You have to have some realism to what it is you're seeing. If your woman is if your mom is dressing in skin tight clothing or dressing in short shorts and booty shorts, as much as you'd want to see your mother as a respectful person, you have to
Why
have
can
some
she not be a
reality.
sexual? Why can she not be a respectable person? Because she shows. Can you just not, as a man, can you not look then? Can you not
So
yourself?
okay,
Why is it that all of these women have to control themselves? Can you not control yourself? Or
I
can
can
you not
control
control your brethren?
myself.
If your friend decides that he
Here's what
wants
I'm
to
gonna say.
act
Here's what
upon
I'm
it,
gonna say.
do you not think
So
that you can control it?
so okay, so you will accept and promote women dressing like whores, and your solution to that is for men to just not look and
What
men to
is your?
control.
Why do you say
Hold,
that they're whores?
hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Your solution to that
Why
is,
whores? Because that
brother.
word came around in the 17th
I'm trying to
century.
make a point.
Where did
Let
you
him
get that
explain. Let
whore
him explain.
I'm just
situation?
gonna have to.
I
I'm
don't
going to have to
understand.
mute you guys. My brother, brother.
Yeah, he's not letting you explain,
You're
man.
interrupting like a woman. Like that's this shit's feminine. We're trying to have a conversation. So a woman can go. You're basically now saying women can dress however they want. Women just go outside naked.
That's right.
And the solution to that is men just don't look. Or can't you control yourself? I can control myself. I'm a man that has discipline. But I understand that whether I have discipline or not, it's still not good. It's not moral. It's not healthy for a woman to be sexualizing herself in that way.
Facts.
Are you telling me that you have women that go to strip clubs and be strippers? You're basically saying that all women should dress like that. You can even work that job, but you can still have self-respect. And it's those men that need to control themselves and not look. Well, how about the women should control themselves? For one, I agree with you. Men should control themselves. Men shouldn't, you know, do whatever it is that you're trying to do, over sexualize women, or even you have men that don't have this control and they go around assaulting women.
That's right.
I understand that not every man has the self-control that I have. So I'm Hold on. Salakia. I think I'm back on. I just realized it was me that dropped off. My internet disconnected. All right, Salakia. I was just going into. I don't know if y'all can hear me now. Put a one or a can in the chat. I see frozen. Someone said what happened. All right, Salakia. Let me the brothers have gone. Am I back on? Y'all let me know in the comments. Am I back? Okay, we back. Salakia for that. My thing is disconnected. If any of the brothers who were just on R or Skelly, let me see if I can invite y'all back on, because I do want to have the conversation. I do apologize for the connection. All right, so basically the brother's solution to women sexualizing themselves and sexualizing their children is for men to just have control and men to just not look. It's a very feminist argument that just promotes whoredom. It promotes 304 activity, and you put in all the responsibility on the men and no responsibility on the woman. You're saying a man needs to control himself. Well, a woman also needs to control herself and control how she dresses, control how she acts. If a woman is dressing and acting like a 304, a man may see that and treat her like a 304. So that doesn't make sense. If a woman is dressing sexualized or in a sexual way, in a revealing way, and we're not going to sit around and act like having your whole leg out, having the bottom of your backside out, all of your thighs, your cleavage. We're just not going to act like that's not sexualizing. And even you're saying men need to control themselves. And again, I'm a man that controls myself. But I understand that there are men that don't. And if you're dressing your children in these outfits that you say they're modest, but I've seen plenty of videos where these children are at Carnival and they're in far less than modest attire. I don't know if you're aware, but the way I even see children walking up and down the street in these little bicycle shorts and damn near like wearing damn near nothing. I understand that there are men that don't know how to control themselves. I understand that there are men that would go out sexualizing children. And so you're letting your child walk in the street at this carnival, which is full of sexual energy. We're just gonna be honest about it. Matter of fact, it's damn near what the thing is about. It's about soca music. It's about dancehall music. It's about sexualization and letting loose and being free and catching a wine or going and sleeping with whoever. There is a such thing as carnival babies. I don't know if y'all know what a carnival baby is. A carnival baby is where the child's mother was at Carnival doing what people do at Carnival. She was loving the soul of that soca music, and she did what people do at Carnival. Had sex with some random stranger and has a baby by him, gets pregnant by him. And now has the baby and don't even know who the father is, because it's just some man she met at Carnival. Could be a man from a completely different city. She don't know who he is, where he's from, what his background is, what his his family history is, his mental health is like. You want to know those things when before you lay down with a person. You want to know all those things. She don't know none of that. She was just enjoying that soca, enjoying that dancehall, making that backside shake. Went home with a man, released some stress, and about 9-10 months later, you have a carnival baby. I mean, Kaila said, is he referring to the women that actively participate? Is he slow? I think he may be. I think his mom probably liked that. Is what Baniga said. It could be possible. As much as I love my mother, as much as I, love and honor my mother, if my mother is acting like a 304 or dressing like a 304, I'm going to see her as just that. You know, you have to see people for what they are. As much as you would love for your mother to be a respectful person and be respected, if she doesn't respect herself, how can she expect to be respected by other people? How? The same way, if your father, and this seems to only follow with women and your mother and your sister, and you just love them so much, men need to just control themselves. If your father was selling dope, if your father was selling drugs, would you not see, would you, yeah, I see him as a respectful person. If your father was a drug addict, strung out, sleeping on a park bench, drinking every night, smoking every night, taking whatever substance, as much as you love your father, as much as you may respect and honor your father, you would understand that my father's a drug addict. My father, he has some problems he needs to work through. Your mother is a attention addict. She's an attention whore. If she's acting like one, I'm not saying you personally. I'm not trying to, personally attack this man's mother. I don't know your mother. Your mother could be a wonderful woman. She might be modest. She might have a good spirit on her. But a lot of women these days aren't. And I'm not just gonna. You can't just. Well, it's my mother, so every man should not sexualize her. Even no matter how she dresses, no matter how she acts, no man should do this, no man should do that. We just we're not living in reality if we're thinking in that way. We're living in la la land, and people get hurt when your head's in the clouds. Harm comes to people when your head is in the clouds. STDs and carnival babies come to people when your head is in the clouds. I mean, good night. See what else we got in the comments. So like you for dropping off. Now, I really want to see what the brother, his name was R. I really want to see what he had to say on the topic. Hey, also Shalam Cap, I see you in the comments. Yahanna Shabrakatah. My Raven mentioned that you was putting some stuff in the comments. Let me try to go back to it. Ask ChatGPT, what is a carnival baby? Absolutely, sir. Kind of the one kind. What is a carnival baby? A carnival baby refers to a child conceived during a carnival celebration, most notably the world-famous carnival in Brazil or Caribbean festivals. Because carnival typically takes place in February or early March, maternity wards in these regions frequently see a well-documented spike in births 9 months later. Yeah, that's what goes on in carnival. That's what goes on in carnival. Are saying married women want to go to carnival. Married men want to go to carnival. It's a mess. It's absolutely. And are you the one in the comments saying you love your culture, but it's definitely over sexualized, right? A bunny god said he probably thinks whining a woman just she could be your woman, and she wants to go out carnival and just celebrate Caribbean culture. And men just, hey, she can go out, dress however she wants to dress, whine on this man, whine on that man. It's just culture. It's cultural. We're just celebrating. We're enjoying the soul of this party music. Just going out there whining on a man, and even though she's whining on him, he better not sexualize her, because he just needs to have control, and he just needs to stop over sexualizing. Yeah, I feel sorry for you, brother, if that's the life that you live. I feel bad. I feel real bad. All right, so let me see where we at. I'm gonna try. I don't know if R is still on. I'm gonna see if I can invite you back on the panel. It seemed like you had a point you wanted to make. If you are still watching, request to join the live, and I'll put you up. All right, but that's the point. All right, that's the point. Now, he was saying earlier, if anyone who missed that part of the conversation, he was saying that carnival is about mass, and he defined mass as the love for soca music. Let me tell you what carnival is about. We're gonna get into some history. All right. And this is why I say, let white people have Carnival back. I know, you know, we thought that we had something that was our culture and it belongs to us. And now we're seeing all these white people take it over, and it just, you know, as much as we want to be Christian, you know, the majority of us, not me, I don't care to be Christian at all. But as much as we want to be Christian and turn the other cheek, we can't help but feel a way. It rubs us the wrong way when we see other nations, especially our oppressors, especially white people, coming to Carnival and taking it over. Carnivals become colonized, and it rubs us the wrong way, but we don't even halfway understand why we feel that way. Or sometimes we try to, because we want to be good Christians, we just, you know, let the white man, let white Jesus and white Jesus at do whatever it is they want, because we should turn the other cheek and love everybody and this, that, and the third. Now this is an instance where we should let them have it. We should let them have it, and we should let it leave from us. Carnival is damn near a curse on us. It's a curse. It's all manner of just sexualized carnival and carnival-esque activities, even parties and dance halls, and you know, we as a race of people need to tone back on how. I mean, I say tone back. We need to stop over-sexualizing ourselves. Men and women. Not just women, but men also. Men, like from a young age, have become sexualized. A lot of it as well. And this is something that goes on far too much in our communities. Men experience sex. Men and women experience something at a very young age. Sometimes it's by an older individual, and it's essentially molestation. Sometimes it's by somebody their age, and they just haven't been taught any sort of restraint, and that they shouldn't be doing this at this young age. Sex is something that's very important. It's not something to just be taken lightheartedly and, oh yeah, I F this girl and F that girl and I'm just running through them. Or I F this guy and F that guy and got his money and this, that, and the third. Whatever it is, with sex is not just something like we treat it as something like it's either just something for sport or something transactional. That is not what sex is. Sex it has a far higher esteem than that. And if you're having sex irresponsibly, you get poor outcomes. You get single mothers. You get STDs. You get, you know, you had sex with some woman. You see her as your woman, but you haven't vetted her. And then she turns around and becomes a monster. Or she turns around and whores on you. Sex has, you know, very serious implications. Sex in the Bible is marriage. If you lie down with a woman, that's your woman until the day you die. Or if she, you know, if you don't know how to pick them, and she whores on you, and let that broad go. Let her go. Don't try claiming back. Don't try, you know, justify her being a whore. Let her go. To the streets she returns. Somebody asked in the comments, are you Jewish by any chance? I am not Jewish. I am what you may call a Jew. You know what I'm saying? The Jew, if we're talking about the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, I would be an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. That's what I am. I'm not Jewish. I'm not an Israeli. None of that. Not by any chance. There's no chance of it. All right? So, let's carry on. And let's give you the bit more of the backdrop and the history of Carnival. Alright, so we read about how it started and how we picked it up. We picked it up from our oppressor when they were, you know, enslaving us, colonizing us, and then they wouldn't let us partake in their carnival. And so when we were emancipated, we adapted their traditions and made our own carnival. Now this is the Caribbean Carnival, but it really has nothing to do with our culture. It's nothing to do with us. It doesn't come from us. Like it's so crazy, and I was having this conversation with my rib the other day that the biggest 304 on the planet, biggest 304 undoubtedly, is that YT woman. Biggest 304. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that that woman is the biggest whore on the planet. Everybody. But our women have become the face of whoredom. Like, just think about that for a second. The white woman is the biggest 304 on the planet. But when you think of a whore and whorish activities, black women have become the face of it. Now that's because of two reasons. One reason is the propaganda. The propaganda that just pushes that our people just damn near act like animals, and we just can't be controlled. We're violent, we're just over sexual, we're just animalistic. That same propaganda that was pushed on us in slavery. We're just animals, we're less than human. That propaganda that whenever a YT person commits a crime, it don't get reported. Whenever you commit a crime, you are, blasted on every media platform there is. Their whoredom doesn't get, they don't shine a spotlight on that. But when you see a black woman, shaking a backside or dancing on top of a car and twerking a backside, you shine a spotlight on that. And this is whoredom, and they push it. They push our women to be sexualized, while their women are the biggest whore. That's the first reason. The second reason is, unfortunately, this is a blessing and a curse. Black people are the salt of the earth. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the salt of the earth, and anything that we do, we just make it look good. Like black people make being a criminal and somebody who's just a murderer, heartless, no compassion, no integrity. We make somebody that's poisoning our own community. We make being a criminal look good. Our sisters make being a whore, somebody who has no self-respect, somebody who just gets passed around by anybody, and just has no self-worth, has no ability to pick a good man, and just, I'll try this, I'll try that. I was a bit angry with this man at one point, so I went and tried a bit of that and dibbled and dabbled in a bit of that. We make even that look cool, and it's unfortunate. It's a blessing and a curse. When we're in our right state, it's a blessing, and we make being righteous and modest look good. All you have to do is look at the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yahanna. We make it look good. We make being a righteous brother, a brother with integrity, a brother with morals, a brother who ain't just, who ain't just looking to catch a wine at Carnival and sleep with some random woman and throw her away. A man that knows that if he has sex with a woman, that's his woman. He can't let her go. He has to look after her. He has to provide for her, make sure she's reassured, make sure a woman, taking on a woman is a big responsibility. And I'm not talking about just financial, because a lot of fake Israelites get that wrong, and it's just, you have to provide them with money. Fake Israelites and Christians. If you do allow a man to have more than one woman, he has to provide and give the same amount of money to this one and that one. And that's not what providing is. Providing is looking after your household. Providing what it is they need. Not every woman needs money from you. Not every woman needs as much, whatever it is you provide a woman with. Each woman has different personalities, has different wants, different needs, different desires. But what was I saying before that part? Like how we just make, we're the salt of the earth, and we can either make being, that's where I was going. I was saying we make sinning look fun and cool to do when we're following after these other nations and when in Rome doing as the Romans do. or we can make being righteous look good. Now, that's the path we've chosen in the I.S.U.P.K. We chose to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of God, which are not nailed to the cross, they're not passed away, none of that. The Bible said there should be no whores of the daughters of Zion. When you go to Carnival, you're going to see a lot of whores of the daughters of Zion. We shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be taking on the... That's how the white woman would dress. All you have to do is look at any Greek painting and any Roman painting. They're all just naked and just... They're all having orgies, and it's just all manner of sexual deviancy. That's their culture. Leave that to them. But us, we have a higher calling than that. Us, we should have a better reputation than that. We are God's chosen people. And we should have the respect to ourselves as God's chosen people to not be 3 or 4s on the street. To not be shaking your bumper on the street. To not be some drug dealer or some, heartless criminal, some gangbanger. We should have a higher honor and higher respect for ourselves. All right. So let me get... That's where I was going. I was going into the history of Carnival. Okay. All right. So, like I said earlier, we in the Caribbean, like Carnival started with Trinidad, we picked it up from a pre-Lenten celebration, which is a Christian celebration. And them Christians who basically, all a Christian is just a pagan that says the blood of Jesus. That's about it. They're just pagan. Everything they do is pagan. The Christmas tree, pagan. Easter, pagan. Carnival, pagan. Lent, pagan. Anything they do is just pagan. All of it. Even the whole even though I'm sure the whole Holy Trinity has some roots in pagan origins. The quote unquote Holy Trinity. Anything they do or believe is pagan. Let me get the history of Carnival. It says to find the absolute earliest origins of Carnival, we have to look back thousands of years before it arrived in the Caribbean. And how did it arrive in the Caribbean? By our slave master. So you out there thinking Carnival is yours. Carnival belongs to your slave master and you should give it back. We think that celebrating Carnival is celebrating our emancipation and freedom and liberty. But if you want to be free from your oppressor, if you want to be, have a rebellion against your oppressor, you don't take on his customs. You don't just do what he does. You reject anything that belongs to him. Reject anything that belongs to your oppressor. That's what you do. If you want to be free. Otherwise, you're allowed to, walk around, but you're still following after your oppressor, and that's not freedom. Running around after the white man, doing what he does. Running around after the white woman, doing what she does. That's not freedom. It's far from it. So before it came to the Caribbean, let me get this here. Where is this here? Oh, hold on. Before I go into that, it was giving me this thing about mass. This is what the brother earlier was talking about. He was talking about mass. Now, mass is spelled M-A-S. So let me read this part when I was talking about the history of the Caribbean Carnival. Right? So, even I seen somebody in the comments put like the etymology. So the etymology of the word carnival comes from the Latin carne and valle. So carne means flesh, valle means like farewell. Right? So you're saying, okay, marking the final feast before fasting, right? So as I was saying in the earlier, I thought it was after, but it's before Lent. So before you do Lent and you restrict yourself from whatever pleasures it is that you desire, you have one final hurrah and just indulge in any alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever. You just indulge in all of it before you have to now restrain yourself. Restrain yourself for however many days Lent is. What is it, 50 or some, whatever, right? So let me see this. So you have, okay, let me read this part. So Canboulay, right? It says enslaved people developed parallel celebrations in their quarters. It says preserving West African masquerade, drumming, and dance traditions. But it's really not. It's not our tradition. That whole masquerade thing comes from the heathens. It's not us. It says slaves creatively mocked their masters by painting their faces white and wearing eccentric versions of aristocratic clothing. So apparently it was supposed to originally be a mockery, but we've taken it on, and now this is Caribbean culture. Yeah, good night. Then you have Canboulay. So Canboulay meaning burnt cane. This ritual reenacted the forced halving of burning sugarcane fields during plantation fires. It became a powerful anthem of defiance. So, like many things, it starts off as us trying to be defiant, and then the white man finds a way to use it to just, keep us lost. I mean, good night. Like, we think we're fighting to be free, but really we're just fighting to follow the white man. That's it. We're just fighting to be just like him, just like the civil rights movement. We're fighting to drink in his water fountain. We're fighting to shop in their shops. Fighting and matter of fact, not fighting in the metaphorical sense, because we were just, in the whole civil rights movement, the point was to be non-aggressive. And while they were sicking dogs on us, hosing us down with fire hoses and the likes, we're just standing in protest to spend our money with them, to give them our money, take our money, just forcing it in their hand. No, we don't want to spend amongst each other. We don't want to build our own thing and be separate from our slave master. Take my money, white man, take it. That's what the civil rights movement is. That's all. All right. Then we got emancipation and the birth of modern mass. So this is what that Skelly was talking about. All right. His name was Devontae. All right. This is what Devontae was talking about. Following the abolition of slavery across the British Caribbean in 1834, newly emancipated people immediately took over the streets. They flooded public spaces to celebrate their physical and spiritual liberation. Then playing mass, which is short for masquerade, traditional carnival characters emerged during this era. Characters like Negu Jardin, field slave, also so Neju Jardin, it must be French, right? Field slave, Jardin being like garden or field, were used to preserve all history's mock colonial regimes and express ultimate artistic freedom. And then you got other islands in the Caribbean picked up this carnival, right? But then let's go further back. So carnival itself, and the name carnival comes from Christianity. Okay, so let's see here. To find the absolute earliest origins of carnival, we had to look back thousands of years before it arrived in the Caribbean. The festival's foundational blueprint, the masks, the wild public partying, it comes directly from ancient pagan winter festivals. So when the Catholic Church spread across Europe, it adopted these deeply ingrained pagan traditions, which is why I say, and to any Christian, I challenge you to prove me wrong when I say Christianity is just pagans who say the blood of Jesus. It's just pagans who say they believe in God, but their actions say otherwise. Because God tells you shouldn't put a tree in your house. You shouldn't deck it with silver and gold. It says, learn not the traditions of the heathen. But every Christmas you put a tree in your house, you decorate it with silver and with gold. You fasten it with nails so they don't move. You make sure that tree don't move, and it's nice and glorious, decorated with tinsel and gold baubles, silver baubles, and lights to make this tree, this pagan tradition look just glorious. It's just pagan. That's all. All right. So, when the Catholic Church spread across Europe, it adopted these deeply ingrained pagan traditions rather than trying to ban them. right? So instead of trying to ban pagan tradition, because you can't stop white people from being pagan, they just won't rock. So instead of trying to ban them, because if you say you're following the Bible, then you shouldn't be doing these pagan traditions. They just try to adopt them and transform them and just change the name, change this a little bit, and now it's not about bowing down to a tree and putting gifts under the giving gifts to, what's the whole tree represent? Nimrod, I believe. It's not about serving Nimrod in that pagan tradition. It's about the birth of Jesus. Even though nowhere it tells you to celebrate the birth of Jesus, nowhere in the Bible it even makes you think that Jesus' birthday was on the 25th of December, was in the middle of winter. Nothing in the Bible wouldn't even make you think that. But you just say it's the birth of Jesus. But the actions and the traditions are all pagan. That's all Christianity does. They just reword stuff. So you got, let me see. You got ancient Mesopotamian festivals. You got here in the Greek Dionysian mysteries, you had this festival called Dionysus or Dionysus or something like that, right? Then you had Bacchanalia, right, which is around the same thing. It's Greek, right? So the Greeks held festivals honoring Dionysus, the god of wine, theater, and ritual madness. Participants wore theatrical masks, drank heavily, and engaged in ecstatic dancing. The goal was to shed social inhibitions, experience temporary liberation from societal constraints. It's like normally you're supposed to have some class, you're supposed to not be a whore, supposed to, have some sort of self-respect. But on this day, wear your mask, so hide who you are, hide your face, and then just do all manner of things that you want to do, but you shouldn't because it's not respected. And we've taken that on. Carnival is a day where your inhibitions is lowered. Anything that would not be normal. It would not be normal for you to dress like you work in a strip club and be in the middle of the street twerking your backside off. It wouldn't be normal on any other day. But on this day, you do it. That's the white man's traditions. That's the white woman's traditions. Leave that whoredom to them. Leave that drunken revelry, all that, the white man loves to have so many pints of Stellas and just get drunk and disorderly and just a mess. Leave that to them. The white man loves to just engorge in all manner of food and just be fat and just a pig. He just loves to be just a pig in actions and eating and everything. He eats any matter of fact, he eats pig and loves it. You can't take a white man from his bacon. He'd rather die. He'd rather be unalived than give up bacon. I'm just telling you that straight. He is a pig just like what he eats. There's a saying, you are what you eat. He is what he eats. He's a pig. That's all. Leave that to them. That's their thing. I know we think we picked it up and now it's our carnival. It's not ours. It don't belong to us. It never did and it never will. Leave all that sexual deviancy. Leave all that whoredom. Leave all that, I'm just gonna celebrate soca music and it's just party and do things that I wouldn't normally do. Do things I wouldn't normally do. Have all manner of carnival babies, sleeping around on your husband, just being whores. Leave that to them. What I want to see before I leave this mortal plane, before I leave Earth and get buried into the ground, if Christ's kingdom, if the kingdom don't come before then, what I want to see is whoredom and being a 304. No longer our sisters being the face of it. I want to see being a criminal, being a drug dealer, being a gang member, no longer a black man the face of it. That's what I want to see. Give it back to the people who it belongs to. Being a thug belongs to the East Indians. Even the word thug comes from thuggy. It belongs to them. Leave it to them. Let them be the face of being a thug. Let YT people be the face of being a gangster. Let them be the face of being a drug dealer. And that also, you know, all manner of customs, even the East Indians, they're the ones that, you know, get all these drugs and substances and weed smoking and dreadlocks. That comes from East Indians. They get high and they don't wash their hair. It's dirty, it's filthy. Give it back to them. Put it off. Give it back. We don't need it. It doesn't benefit us. Being a drug dealer doesn't benefit us. Give it back to them. Being just a drunk and you know, lack of inhibitions and all that sexuality and carnival, it doesn't benefit us. Give it back to them. Christmas doesn't benefit us. Give it back to them. Being a drunk and a substance abuser doesn't benefit us. Give it back to them. All the things that we do, being a whore, doesn't benefit us. Give it back to them. That would be the real, if you want to rebel against your slave master, and if you want to be free, that would be what you do. Anything that they do, anything that's their culture, leave that alone. Don't touch their culture at all. Completely reject it. That would be real freedom. Until then, you got brothers and sisters all now, all up in Alexandria Park celebrating Carnival. It's a mental slavery. It's mental bondage. And I want my people to be free. Not free-range slaves, actually free. The Bible says that you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. I wish the truth on all my brothers and sisters. That's what actually makes us free. Putting down Carnival, putting down Christmas, putting down whatever it is that we want to model after them. Put it all down and pick up our culture. Pick up the Passover. Pick up our women being modest. Our women having class and integrity and honor. Our men having integrity and honor and respect. Having self-control, not being drunk, not being overly violent and aggressive. Having self-control. Picking up Passover and the Feast of Dedication, Feast of Tabernacles, Day of Atonement, all of that. That's what we need to pick back up. All right, now with that, let me see. I don't have any guest requests on Facebook. Don't have requests on TikTok. I'm mad that Skelly and R dropped Salakia, but y'all ain't stay on. Y'all just stay around, man. Salakia. I'm gonna get it back up and running once I realize. Y'all ain't had to leave. Y'all ain't had to leave, man. I'm sure y'all just went to go to Carnival. All right, we all just went to God. You just go, you know, go and celebrate the soul of soca music, whatever the hell that means. No sweat. All right, with that, I say shalom to all my brothers and sisters. All right, I wish y'all the best. Stay away from Carnival. Give all the things that are destructive to our community. Give it back. Just give it back. We don't need it. Don't benefit us. It's not us. It's not our culture. With that, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Barakatam to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Ilatan Ba'Hashem Yahushai to all the sisters. Alright, shalom to Facebook. We'll go ahead and finish the live. Shalom to TikTok. Alright.